Oh man, how do I look? I look okay. Hi.
Just wondering if you could just reflect a little bit on the year, Indian Wells, what happened in Canada. It's been something. As you come into this tournament, talk a little bit about how you're feeling, how the year's gone.
Yeah, something is definitely the word. I would say it's been surreal. I've enjoyed every moment out there. I didn't expect anything to come this quickly, but I do believe that I'm capable of doing big things. So I'm just really happy with how everything's turning out right now.
Bianca, since Toronto, but since Toronto, what have you kind of been up to, and physically, because that's always the big question when you go into a tournament. Physically, how are you feeling? Not just shoulder, but just everything else. And how do you feel about going into an event? I mean, you're doing pre-tournament press in your main draw debut at the U.S. Open, so this is kind of a whirlwind, I would think.
Yeah, so I did have a bit of groin issues after Rogers Cup, so I just wanted to take it easy. Um, I've prepared very well physically and mentally the last 2.5 weeks, so I'm feeling fresh for the US Open. And yeah, this is my first main draw seeded debut here at the US Open. After coming from the win in Toronto, I'm feeling pretty confident. I love playing on hard court, and I'm here at the U.S. Open in New York, so this is a moment I've dreamed of. So I'm really looking forward to whatever will happen this next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to meal before matches, and is diet an important part of your whole regimen?
I don't have anything too specific. I try to have the right amount of carbs, protein, and vegetables before. I usually have a smoothie too to give me energy, and I usually eat that usually between like I'd say an hour and a half, 2 hours before the match, so I can digest properly. But yeah, I think you are what you eat, so I think nutrition is definitely a big part of anything. So I really looked at that throughout this year, and I tried to improve it as much as I can. So yeah, I'm feeling really good.
Okay. Bianca, you've had some really good experiences. Hi. at, at, at big tournaments this year, big scale in Indian Wells and Toronto. How does all of that compare to this? I imagine it's a lot larger, but do you feel like the experiences there will kind of help you adjust to here, and what has the experience thus far been like for you?
Yeah, for sure. I've had some experience playing in Grand Slams already. I got to the third round of Australian Open this year, so I kind of know what to expect. I know every Grand Slam is different. Here in New York, the atmosphere is crazier, I think, than any other Grand Slam, so I'm really looking forward to being able to play in front of all the fans.
Hi. With your success at Australian Open, obviously Indian Wells and Rogers Cup, would you say you're most comfortable on the hard courts? And if so, how does that work with your game? A lot of people talk about the power that you have in your shots and your selection, but how does being on the hard courts and being, out in New York help with you with your game?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing on hard court, so I think it's the court I'm most used to. And yeah, I think my game also suits it, and it definitely shows in the results I had.
Could you assess Serena's chances for this US Open, and do you consider her as a favorite?
Yeah, definitely. If she manages physically, then I think she can do really well here. Definitely.
Yeah, it was in Indian Wells and, in Canada, you played amazing. But, here's, 2 weeks and, there are a lot of energy. It's New York. What's the best advice that you have received to play here and being here and, doing well here?
Well, I think it really helps when a tournament is 2 weeks because you get that day in between matches, so it helps you recuperate better. I would say I think it's good to have a good balance. I mean, explore New York, but at the same time, be more mindful of that. Don't get too caught up in what's happening in the city. You don't want to get too tired. But that's personally more for me than for anyone else.
Bianca, speaking of like big things happening in New York, Serena and Maria are going to play the first round against one another. What was your reaction when you found out about it, and will you watch it?
Oh, definitely. That's going to be a match to watch. And also, Felix and Dennis are playing each other. I think they played each other here 2 years ago. I feel like the draws are rigged sometimes because the Canadians keep playing each other first round. But yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to watching that match. It's going to be big.
Bianca, when we talk about your season and your rise and everything happening so fast, sometimes players, they have a great season and they'll struggle to back it up. Have you and your team sort of started to have those conversations on how you're going to maintain the momentum?
Not really. I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on what I have accomplished and basically just take what I have accomplished and how I prepared before that and just bring it into every tournament, because if I do that and not focus on anything else, then I think it'll go well for me.
Speaking of the Canadians, there are 7 here, including yourself. What's it been like seeing this rise in Canadian tennis this year, and especially for, you're 19, Felix is 19, Dennis is only 20 or 21 at this point, but seeing the rise, especially from the younger players, and then looking to Jeannie and Milos as being the older the veterans on the tour. What does it mean to see Canadian tennis at this point?
Yeah, what's happening in Canadian tennis right now is unbelievable. It's so nice to see me, Felix, and Dennis doing well at the same time. I remember playing junior events with them, so it's nice to share that success with them at the same time. But we've looked up to Jeannie and Milos when they had their rise, so I think if we just keep motivating each other like Jeannie and Milos did, and even Daniel Nestor, Vasek Pospisil, everyone, then I think we can keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I guess so. If you get to play on one of the bigger courts at Ash, you get to kind of ask for a play out song. Like
Oh,
to walk
really?
out. I think so. In the years
Oh,
past,
that
I
would
believe
be
so.
sick.
So hypothetically, if that is, you have to tell the DJ what song is playing when you walk out on Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Oh, there's too many good songs out there. I'm gonna stick with Drake, with my homeboy. Can't go wrong with that. Started from the bottom. Literally.
Yeah, Bianca, you just talked about the vibe of New York. I'm curious if you feel like you match up with that and what it is about New York that's special compared to other big cities that you play at.
I think it's just the atmosphere. Everyone makes it so intriguing. You never know what you're gonna see on the streets. And there's just always something to do. It's literally the city that never sleeps. So I think it does fit into my personality. I think I'm more of a night owl. Obviously, I'm gonna save that for after the tournament. But yeah, I'm gonna just enjoy myself and hopefully I can do good.
So you met Nadia Comaneci, correct? I saw the picture. So, she's such an inspiration for many, So what do you admire most about her career?
Yeah, what she accomplished was incredible. Coming from a Romanian background, it's really nice to see another Romanian doing well, I guess. So we have that special connection because she did well in Canada. I'm Romanian, she's Romanian. And I got the chance to meet her. Yeah, she's an unbelievable person, very down to earth. And yeah, she's an incredible inspiration for many, I'm sure, including myself.
Last question?
I was just wondering if you've looked ahead to your first opponent and what you're going to be facing with her.
Yeah, I played her in Newport Beach earlier this year. She's a tough competitor. She gets to a lot of balls. So I'm not expecting anything easy. So yeah, I know she's American too, but hopefully I can get the crowd support as well. Oh, good. Thank you, guys.
Remarkable.